Adhikarinamāśaste phalasiddhirvisheshatah upaya deshakaladhya santasmin sahakarinaha. Adhikarinam, upon the qualifications of the aspirant. Ashate, depends. Phalasiddhihi, ultimate success. Visheshataha, essentially. Upaya, means. Deshakaladhya, such as time, place, etc. Santi, are. Asmin, in this. Sahakarinaha, auxiliary conveniences. Success depends mainly on the qualifications of the aspirant. Time, place, and other such means are but auxiliaries in this regard. Namaste. This verse brings up the ancient debate between the karma yogis and the jnana yogis. The karma yogis say that the Vedas indicate that rituals and other activities are the most prominent. Let's take a look at some of these quotes from the Vedas. One makes an offering in the Ahavaniya fire. One makes homa at the foot of a horse. One shall make a Vaishvadeva sacrifice at the inclination of east to west. One makes an offering in the evening. One makes an offering in the morning. One makes a Jyotishtoma sacrifice in every spring season. The Brahmana takes up the sacrificial fire in the spring. So these and many other instructions in the Vedas seem to indicate that one must perform the obligatory sacrifices in order to make spiritual advancement. However, this view omits the qualification that this instruction is aimed at one in external consciousness, Jagrat consciousness of the world through the senses. And it also ignores the structure of the Vedic literatures, which we went into in this video in some detail. That the Vedas generally give ritual instructions. The Brahmanas explain the meaning of the sacrifices. And finally, the Upanishads give the deep realizations that are the aim of all these Vedic activities. So not only do the instructions in the Vedas talk about one must perform sacrifices, they also talk about the time and place of those sacrifices. If one knows Brahman here in this very life, then truth is won. If one knows it not here, great is the destruction or loss. And there are more. Atma Jnana acquired in this world will be as clear as a reflection in a mirror. That acquired in the Pitriloka will be as elusive as a dream experience. That acquired in Gandharvaloka will be as agitated as reflection in water. And that acquired in Brahmaloka will be as distinct as the difference between sunshine and shadow. So this is why the demigods, the devas, who live in the Svarga, the heavenly planets, aspire to be born on earth, because the Brahma Nishta, or the Brahma Jnana, obtained on this earth planet is as clear as your reflection in the mirror. It's absolutely clear and sharp. You'd have to go to Brahmaloka to get that kind of clarity in your realization, and that's very difficult. But it's comparatively easy to be born as a human being on earth. And that's why the demigods are like, well, my Adi Guru described it, lined up to take birth. on a planet Earth in a pious family. Even more than that, the Vedas give instructions as to when one can renounce the world. After finishing the brahmacharya ashram, one should become a grihastha. From grihastha ashrama, one should go to vanaprastha. Then one should renounce the world, become a sannyasin. One should turn one's mind to thoughts of liberation only after having discharged the 3 debts: to pitris, ancestors, by raising progeny; to rishis, the sages, by study of the Vedas; and to the devas, gods, by making sacrifices. If one turns to liberation without doing so, one will fall down. This is an instruction from the Shatapatha Brahmana, and it's often quoted in Advaita literature because this is the Brahmana that makes the transition from karma yoga to jnana yoga, from the rituals of the Vedas to the meditations of the Upanishads. And it begins with several stories in the Upanishads embedded in the Shatapatha Brahmana. For example, the Rakshasa king Virochana went to Brahmaloka for Brahma Jnana and was taught by the best of teachers, Brahma himself. Yet, he did not realize the Atman as he was of impure mind. He didn't have the qualifications. And that's what this verse in Vivekacūḍāmaṇiḥ is saying, that you can do rituals from now until the end of time, but if you're not qualified, even if you have Lord Brahma as your teacher, you're not going to get the realization. Why is that? Well, now we turn the corner and we go from the Vedic ritual context to the Upanishadic meditation context. Impelled by the desire to perceive the essence, the inmost truth, seeing that samsara is puerile, those who have not married acquire supreme renunciation. That is, they become sannyasins directly from the brahmacharya ashram. Otherwise, one may renounce, become a sannyasin from brahmacharya or grihastya or vanaprastya. One should renounce the moment one attains detachment. Therefore, the learned man should strive for liberation, renouncing desire for pleasures from external objects, duly approaching a good and generous preceptor, and living attuned to the significance of his words. So, Viveka, discrimination between the real and the unreal, and Vairagya, renunciation of the unreal, have been laid down as qualifications for the attainment of Brahmajnana, or specifically Samyak Darshana Nishta, steadiness of the mind in contemplation of Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Tattvamasi, thou art that. You are that Brahman. There is only one you, only one self. And the knower of Brahman, one who understands this and realizes it, who actually becomes rooted or grounded in Brahman, as we discussed in the previous video, gets that realization that brings the end of all suffering. The knower of the Atman gets over all grief. For knowing it, let one approach a guru. Because the guru already knows. He has been through all these stages. He has attained the qualifications and got the result. So this section, beginning with this verse, is going to be about the fact that the qualifications far outweigh the circumstances time, place, and so on. That if one is qualified according to the sadhana chashtushtaya, that one can easily attain realization, whereas one lacking these qualifications, such as virochana, cannot realize even if one has the best guru in the universe. So the next few shlokas are going to be about this.
Om Tat Sat, Om Shakti Om, Om